Hey, welcome to this video. So there's been a craze going around with the Americans with Disabilities Act, especially when it comes to dental office websites. I know there's a handful of litigation-happy firms who are predatory and looking for dental offices to sue and settle with to make a quick buck. And there's a lot of fear that's been going around in the industry about this. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through I'm gonna show you what you have to know and a lot of the misconceptions and I think just paranoia that is rampant around this. And I will try to break it down for you. I've been doing websites for almost 10 years now, working in the dental industry for around 6. That said, I am not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice, but we will be referencing a lot of legal stuff. So let's get into it. So you might be familiar with the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's been around for a long time now. It's a great thing, but like many great things, it comes with a lot of gray areas and issues in those gray areas. So when someone struggles to get into your office because you don't have a wheelchair ramp, the Americans with Disabilities Act ensures that offices are wheelchair accessible. It's a good thing. That also translates to the digital world. If someone isn't able to access your website because they might be visually impaired or maybe physically impaired, then the onus is on you as the owner of that site to provide that, to allow accessibility for people with disabilities. And when it comes to websites now, a lot of the fear that's been going around are those handful of firms who have been mass spamming websites and contacting their owners saying, or sending letters, threatening letters saying, hey, you need to, or you are in violation, you need to pay us this much. I'm going to tell you some stuff that has been my experience regarding that. All right, but let's get back to the Americans with Disabilities Act. So we need to hold websites to a standard because we can't just look at a website and say, hey, that's not accessible, right? So there is a standard, and that standard is the WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. And in the WCAG, there are 3 levels or multiple levels, but generally broken down into 3. Level 3, the highest level, is reserved for things like the government, large hospitals, when your business size exceeds a certain size, but it's for very big businesses or organizations. Level 2 is typically where dental offices will lie. This is what you should aspire to. Back then, we used to be able to just work with level 1, but I would recommend that you shoot for level 2. And if you want to see those guidelines, they are very convoluted. But there are key ones that you're going to want to stick to and just make sure that you're covered there. All right, so that's it. That's all, like, just fit into the guidelines and you're good to go. So let's talk about demand letters. So I've worked with and dealt with maybe around 3 demand letters. So these are letters from those legal firms who will threateningly send letters to you. So it seems like you have no other option but to settle, but that is far from the truth. What I've noticed is a lot of these letters are very generic, meaning they don't really have a basis that they're pointing at. What they do is that they send them en masse to as many dental offices as they can, hoping some of them will settle. So here's the approach that I recommend you take and the approach that I've been taking. What we do is we get back to that litigation firm, asking them exactly where on our website is the issue. And in all cases, they haven't responded. But if they do respond, then you have a grace period. So again, don't hold me to this, but accessibility, ADA laws allow for businesses in the physical realm, I think it's about around 60 days, 30 to 60 days, to once they receive the letter of issue, that they can repair and fix it so that it becomes accessible. And this is a law, as far as I know, that is only in California and is only in the physical realm. What people are saying is that it's a gray area that this grace period would exist in the digital realm. But I think it's very reasonable to assume that it does. Again, I'm not a lawyer. So when you receive a threatening letter, that seems very urgent, what I would do is recommend you reach out to them, ask them, hey, where are we actually wrong? Chances are they will never reply again. If they do, you can figure out, oh, that was wrong, or maybe it's not wrong. And if it was wrong, you can go ahead and fix it. All right, so there is a lot of paranoia that goes, one last thing I'll say about the Americans with Disabilities Act when it comes to websites. There are software like UserWay, some other software that says if you just get a website and you just install our software, it will fix all your issues with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And that doesn't happen. What they actually found was that a software like that can only fix up to like 30% of your website with accessibility issues. And around 70% of the website is still going to have a lot of issues. So it doesn't provide full protection, which is why when you sign up for one of those softwares, it comes with like lawsuit protection. I don't know the exact details, but what I'm assuming is that these software companies, they end up making more than they lose when they lose on the back end of it. So I would watch out for that, because at the end of the day, it's still you who's going to have to be going to court and dealing with all that headache, even if financially you're covered. So just watch out for that. The approach you should do is when you build your website, you can build it with accessibility in mind. And when you build your website to be level 2 compliant or higher, you don't have to have additional software. Like, you don't have to have that button that allows people to change contrast or change font size. If you look at government websites, they don't have that because it's built simple, it's built accessible already. And so that's what you should aspire to with your website as well. So when I see websites with those UserWay buttons floating around, I just know that it's a band-aid and it's not going to be a good solution, nor is it going to actually help with accessibility with people who have trouble with accessibility. So let's do a better job building it out first. If you do receive a threatening email or letter, get back to them, ask them what exactly is it. And again, remember that there is a gray area where you technically have a grace period, but the law is written in such a way that it only applies, or it verbally only mentions the physical. But I think people are saying that you can generalize it to the digital realm as well, because it was written, I think, in the 60s or something. So that's it for this video. Americans with Disabilities Act, I think, is very, very overcomplicated. It's there's too much fear. There's more fear than there needs to be around it. If you just understand that it's about making things accessible to people, and as long as you have good intent and you're trying to aspire to that, and now you know that the guidelines are the standard and you can build for that, then you really have nothing to worry about. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.